Did Saltburn leave you questioning the fabric of reality? And like me, did it leave you wanting more torment? Maybe that's just me. I like to watch films that leave me feeling in a pit of despair. Feeling like on the verge. Not quite there, but if someone pushed me, I'd fall. You know, that kind of vibe. I thrive in discomfort, which maybe isn't the norm, but I do like movies that make me feel very, very uncomfortable. And Saltburn did make me feel very uncomfortable. Although I will add, Saltburn was definitely borderline comedy. I laughed a whole lot in that movie, and I felt so much secondhand embarrassment for Barry Keoghan. Keoghan. I've recently learned I was saying it wrong my whole life. I thought it was Barry Keoghan. And no, Keoghan. Let's go with that one. Also, for a lot of my life, I said Cillian Murphy instead of Killian. Oh well, we move on. So Saltburn obviously came out last year. It was directed by Emerald Fennell. And for those who don't know, such an interesting fact, Emerald Fennell played Midge in the Barbie movie. You know, the one where they're like, hey Midge, never mind. The cast of Saltburn includes the likes of Barry Keoghan. Oh my god, I did it again. It has Barry Keoghan, Jacob Elordi, Rosamund Pike, Richard E. Grant, Carey Mulligan for a brief minute before she's cut off. I won't say how, because we don't even know. But one of the iconic lines that went around the internet was, she'll do anything for attention, that one. That's the tone of this movie, and Rosamund Pike is probably the peak humor in this entire film. She is incredible. I knew she was incredible in Gone Girl, but seeing her in a comedic, dark thriller where she is bringing all the comedy, it's excellent. Okay, so the themes of Saltburn are obviously eat the rich. That's the overarching theme. Then we have social climbing, obsession, and of course, deceit. If you thought Saltburn was the weirdest movie you had ever seen, I'm doubting if any of you have actually watched a weird movie. I've seen countless others that actually lingered with me for life that made me question why the hell I even watch movies. But those ones are probably ones I cannot speak about, nor would I want to. I don't think so anyway. Saltburn does have some very uncomfortable moments throughout. Obviously, one particular bathtub scene left people gagging a little bit. You didn't look at your tub the same after that one. And I think some scented candles were even made. Maybe I should get one, place it in the back on my bookshelf. I think that'd be lovely. And also, a particular scene where I would say it was vampiric in nature is the best I can probably describe it while being YouTube safe. But if you've watched the movie, you know what I'm talking about. What do vampires like? You know. Where do they get it from? You know. And to wrap it all up, we have Barry Keoghan dancing around a house to Sophie Ellis-Bextor's song Murder on the Dance Floor, which has had a massive resurgence in plays after this movie. But for me, I grew up on that song, so I heard it countless times growing up, and now suddenly everyone knows about it. I think she only just did her first American talk show thanks to Saltburn. Pretty comical, actually. Okay, so Saltburn follows Oliver, played by Barry Keoghan, of course. And I'm so hyper-aware of me saying that name, it doesn't even sound like a name anymore. Let's count how many times I say Barry Keoghan and how many times I say it correctly. So he's a student at Oxford University alongside Jacob Elordi, who is very popular, he's charismatic, he is aristocratic, and Barry Keoghan, I'll just say Oliver from this point on, he forms an obsession with Jacob Elordi's character, Felix. He infiltrates his friend group, and then Felix ends up inviting Oliver to stay with his family during the summer at their estate called Saltburn. So that's where the name comes from. Quite quickly, though, we realize Oliver may not be as he seems. His intentions aren't so wholesome. I mean, I originally thought as this movie was kicking off, I was like, oh, I'm watching a love story unfold here between Oliver and Felix. That's what I was hoping was going to happen. However, after the bathtub scene, things really descend into not so wholesome content. I mean, not that the bathtub scene was wholesome. It really was quite deranged. Things turn chaotic really, really fast. No one is safe, not even Rosamund Pike. And people start dropping like flies. There's a party at the estate. Oliver's on the prowl. But you learn more about Oliver's life, you learn about his backstory. He does weave a web of lies, and in one particular scene where Felix goes to Oliver's home with him, you realize, oh my god, that is the worst scene in the whole movie for me, was the scene where Felix took Oliver to his house and you meet Oliver's family. Oh my god, I had the worst secondhand embarrassment of my life. I wanted to turn off the movie then and there. Okay, so Saltburn was a success, obviously was polarizing, it got people talking, and that's what we want with a movie. You want people talking. So I've compiled a short list of films that I think are similar in themes and tones to Saltburn. If you love Saltburn, you will like these films. Hopefully, anyway. I love each and every one of these films on the list, and I really highly suggest you watch them regardless of whether you like Saltburn or not. Okay, first we have The Killing of a Sacred Deer. This came out in 2017. It was directed by Yorgos Lanthimos. He obviously did The Lobster and more recently Poor Things, as well as The Favourite. If you've watched a Yorgos film, you know he is really strange. His films are never normal. It's always eccentric, like him. It will always hurt your brain, and you'll never really know what the hell's going on. The Lobster, for instance, literally tells the story of if you don't find your mate, you get turned into a creature or an animal. And Poor Things is it's like a female Frankenstein story about a woman who's got a child brain. So, yeah, you never know what you're going to get with Yorgos. And with Killing of a Sacred Deer, oh my god, did you not know what you were going to get? And I should just preface by saying, this movie, and now Saltburn, has confirmed, never let Barry Keoghan inside your house. You will regret it. You won't even be able to live to regret it, because he'll have already you. The cast of this movie is obviously Nicole Kidman, she's my favourite, Colin Farrell, and Barry Keoghan. Like Saltburn, Barry manages to insert himself inside of a family's life and literally destroys their entire life. The man is unhinged, he is also relentless, and I feel like Barry's starting to be typecast here, so he needs to be careful. I feel like next he really needs to do a comedy or a romance where he's a nice guy. Although in Banshees of Inisherin, he was a nice guy. Okay, so Colin Farrell makes the grave mistake of having Barry Keoghan. I can't get it right, it doesn't make sense. Colin Farrell makes the mistake of introducing Barry Keoghan to his family, and it does descend into utter chaos, with them all falling mysteriously ill. I wonder why that is. If Barry Keoghan is inside your house and you get sick, you know what the reason is. The movie's absurd. It is oddly humorous. I say oddly, but Yorgos Lanthimos' films are very funny, actually. He's really good at making you feel so utterly uncomfortable that your body doesn't know what to do but laugh. It's like expelling it and you don't know what to do. The movie really succeeds at making you feel so uneasy every time Barry's on screen. And if you loved Saltburn, you will absolutely love this movie, so add it next on your watch list, that's for sure. Okay, next up we have The Talented Mr. Ripley from 1999. This one's directed by Anthony Minghella. I think that's how you say his name. The cast is obviously Matt Damon, Jude Law, and Gwyneth Paltrow. I also think Cate Blanchett's in this movie. I've seen this movie maybe twice. It was definitely one of those movies that was put on for me at school in English. Looking back, I'm not really sure why. Probably the book. I'm pretty sure the book was written by Patricia Highsmith, who did, I want to say, The Price of Salt? I could be wrong. If Patricia Highsmith did The Price of Salt, then Cate Blanchett has a connection here because she was also in Carol, which is The Price of Salt. Anyway, I digress. This is another Eat the Rich movie. It follows Matt Damon, who plays Tom Ripley. He is sent to Italy to try and bring back Jude Law's character. His character's called Dickie Greenleaf, and he is a spoiled playboy. However, Tom becomes obsessed with him, he becomes obsessed with his life, and he becomes obsessed with money and wealth. This results in him making some very, very poor decisions, especially when he can't seem to get Dickie to come back home. So you can imagine what goes on there. I don't want to spoil anything for you though. This is a spoiler-free video. You just need to go watch it because obviously things don't go according to plan. More chaos ensues, very similar to Saltburn with the chaos that ensues and the decisions that are made. These choices aren't great. The movie's themes really focus on the price of wealth. Like, what will you do to be wealthy and what are the consequences to your actions. Every action has a reaction, and what results here is not great. So Tom Ripley, you might have some dough now, but you're going to have to be looking over your shoulder everywhere you go. It also focuses on sociopath, manipulation, and disregard for human life. That is the main theme there, the disregard for human life. Tom Ripley really does not care. He is completely unstable and he needs some help. With the money he got, he can go get it. Okay, next up we have Promising Young Woman. This is another movie directed by Emerald Fennell, who obviously did Saltburn. This was actually her feature film debut, and oh my god, she hit the ground running. Holy was this film good. When it came out, it was not the movie I thought it was going to be. I did not know what this film was about, and it was a lot more comedic than I was expecting. I thought this was a very dark, gritty thriller. Boy, was I wrong. Holy hell. This stars Carey Mulligan, Bo Burnham, Alison Brie, Jennifer Coolidge, and Adam Brody. Carey Mulligan plays Cassie. She's a woman with a lot of trauma in her past. Her friend passed away. We find out the reasons, and then due to how she passed away and the reasons for her passing away, Carey Mulligan goes on almost like a revenge mission. And she adopts this kind of character where she will go to bars, she'll pretend to be inebriated, and then she'll allow men to take advantage of her inebriated state. And then she confronts them, obviously. So what was good with this movie is Emerald Fennell intentionally cast very likable men in real life. So like Bo Burnham and Adam Brody, men that have played very likable characters in the past or just likable people. And they are now playing people that we learn to not like, and it makes us feel more uncomfortable because we're not used to feeling that way about them. It was actually a very smart move to do this, and I think more movies should do this. Cast really likable people in really terrible roles, because it really does mess with your head. The film is a whirlwind, that's for sure, and it really is Carey Mulligan's best performance to date. Saltburn is obviously another movie she's in, which she's great in, but she's literally in it for maybe 5 minutes, but she is hilarious. Her lines with Rosamund Pike, those conversations, a lot of them are improv, I learned later, and oh my god, they are funny. I think one of them was, they were asking, where is Liverpool? I think that was a question. I think they were discussing Liverpool. Where even is Liverpool? They don't know. They're wealthy. They live in the south. But this movie it's darkly humorous, similar energy to Saltburn. It has an unpredictable plot. I think that's what's so great about it. You never know where this movie is going to take you. At no point do you realize what's about to happen. I was shocked the whole way. And obviously it follows themes of trauma, grief, and revenge, as well as victim blaming. But honestly, if you liked Saltburn, you'll absolutely love this movie. Okay, lastly, we have The Riot Club from 2014. This movie, I almost didn't want to talk about this movie because it really left me with a sour taste in my mouth after I watched it, but that's simply because of the reaction I had to it. And I had the reaction the film intended to give you. It's just not comfortable in any way. I know Saltburn isn't comfortable, or many of the movies I listed aren't very comfortable, but this one's uncomfortable in a really sickening way, and I don't like it. It's directed by Lone Scherfig, I think that's how you say his name, and it stars Sam Claflin, Max Irons, Douglas Booth, Holiday Granger. It follows some Oxford University students. Again, Oxford University seems to have a really bad rap on screen. It's a bit cursed, honestly. If people are going to that university and it's in a movie, assume it's about to get crazy. So it follows Miles and Alistair. They are two students who join an exclusive club at Oxford called the Riot Club. The club engages in a lot of raucous behavior, a lot of partying, a lot of alcohol and substances, but it's all steeped in tradition, so it's okay. They're allowed to get away with it, and they're rich, so they can do whatever they want. Those are the themes of the movie. It is essentially commenting on how if you are the wealthy elite, you can cover everything up with money. And it is the sad reality, and especially in this movie, the things this club do is horrifying. There's one particular night, they go for a dinner, and they've rented out a bar, and what ensues is just utter utterly disturbing and disgusting, to be honest. There are innocent people who fall victim to the club, and obviously the club covers everything up. And there was just one scene in particular involving the landlord of the pub they're in that really, really upset me. I think that I suggest to watch this movie if you like Saltburn. Just know this is a movie I don't think I can ever return to. It makes me really upset. There are some themes in movies that trigger me a lot that I just can't enjoy, and this one is one of them. It's very disturbing, very upsetting. Just be prepared when watching it. I'll give a disclaimer. It's not the easiest watch, but it's an important movie because it's giving important commentary on the wealthy elite and the things they can do. And, throwing money at a situation, even if it's criminal, they can get away with things. And if they've done something illegal and you've watched it happen, they may want to cover it up by paying you money and giving you a job. So it's pretty bleak. And obviously the themes are culture of privilege, lack of accountability from the wealthy elite when they commit crimes, and just how disgusting and depraved humanity can really be. Some people are just horrible, especially in this movie. Sam Claflin is, honestly, the role he plays is shocking. I've never seen him in anything like this before, so definitely check this out if you like Saltburn. Saltburn is honestly a lighter fare compared to this, which is actually quite funny because Saltburn has a lot of heavy themes too. As to a lot of the movies on our list, they're all quite heavy in their own way. Saltburn seems more like a comedy compared to the Riot Club, so just note that. Well, make sure to leave me a comment down below what your favourite movie has been this year. Did you like Saltburn? Give me your review in the comments. Did you enjoy the bathtub scene? Who was your favourite character? Rosamund Pike's the best. And what movies are you looking forward to? See you in the next one.